So I got a library card recently. I feel like libraries being amazing is not something people talk about as often as they should. A lot of people probably don't even know that they offer ebooks and audiobooks. While I am a collector and I like to own most of my stuff, I just think the fact that almost any book you can think of you can just get for free whenever you want legally, it's really kind of a busted system. If you love reading, love saving money, and don't have a library card, Just look, in 3 weeks I will be able to download and enjoy A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Welcome everyone to a new reading update. It's been about 2.5 months since I did one of these. That one was at the start of summer, sort of outlining what I was going to be reading. So this one's going to serve to close off the summer. Just doing a recap of everything I've read since last time, and what the next month or so has in store for us. Because I have some big plans. I have bigger plans for fall. However, that will need its own video when the time comes. So since last time, I've read and completed The Blood of Olympus, The Poppy War, Stormfront, Dark Age, Breeding with Bigfoot, Mr. Mercedes, Finders Keepers, End of Watch, This Is How You Lose the Time War, Half the World, Lightbringer, A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, and Full Moon. And I have done reviews for all of those books except for one on this channel. Whether it's longer videos or mini reviews on my shorts page, you can go see what I thought on all of those. The ones of these that were part of my book club were The Blood of Olympus, Breeding with Bigfoot, and The Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, which is the one book I'm not going to do a review for because I really don't have much to say. I did not particularly enjoy it at all. Obviously, I'm not in the demographic for it. YA teen romance isn't usually the thing I go for. But even that aside, I just found this to be a very, very boring and dull, uneventful book. I hate to say it, but this might be another Reese Witherspoon miss. So some interesting things to note. I, of course, got into the Dresden Files, which is not something that I intended to do when I made the last video. I did intend to get into the Cradle series, which is similar in that it is full of a ton of books and they are all quite short. And while I still do want to read that series, I was sort of craving the vibes of Dresden a little bit more at the time, so I started it instead. I have been enjoying it so far, and I hear from pretty much everyone that it becomes so much better as it goes on, so I'm really looking forward to read more. I don't think I'm going to be getting around to the third one in the next month, but hopefully I'll be able to crank out a few more by the end of the year. Also, it was my intention to continue reading the Poppy War series, but while I have not dropped the series, I definitely decided I needed a longer break than I expected. We're just going to be putting a pin in it for now. The highlight of this whole batch also had to be Lightbringer. Dark Age was absolutely amazing, but Lightbringer, it was everything it needed to be for a penultimate installment, and I have not stopped thinking about it since I finished it. Pierce! Sorry, so as for what I'm currently reading, I don't really know how I got myself into this situation, but it's two massive chonkers. Like two of the biggest books I own, Words of Radiance and Dance of Dragons. Now, Words of Radiance, and I did this with Way of Kings too, but I'm like reading half of it and then listening to the other half. Because it's just so long that, I want to be making progress. And I am making progress. I'm on part 4 now. I will be saving most of my thoughts for a full dedicated review in a couple of weeks. So all I will say is yes. Absolutely yes. And Dance with Dragons, of course, if you follow me, you know I read the first half of this book last year, along with Feast for Crows. I was doing the spliced method, and it wasn't really working for me, because it just slows down the pace so much. So I just finished Feast by itself, and now I still got a lot of this to read. But I am currently back into it. I'm back to enjoying it. And while I know most of what's going to happen, I still think that it is fantastic. And that will mark the end of my 5-year-long one-a-year Song of Ice and Fire journey. I can stretch it out for 2 more years, because we got Fire and Blood, and we got the novellas, but if something new is not out by 2026, I may have to throw myself into the ocean. Now, on the book club side of things, I'm currently reading The Troop by Nick Cutter. This is a very disturbing horror book about a troop of scouts who are isolated on an island for camp, and of course, something starts killing them all. Although it might not be quite what you're expecting. I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm about halfway through. I should be finishing it up soon. I know some of the other members aren't as crazy about it, but we have a pretty diverse taste there. You can always head over to our book club Instagram to see what everyone thought of them and to see what we're doing next. But I will let you know our next book now. It's going to finish off the summer. As I alluded to earlier, it is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. If you don't know how our book club works, we go on a rotation where we, each person gets to pick a new book. And The Troop was my pick, so my other friend picked The Hunger Games. I'm really not looking forward to this. Like, I really haven't gone back to this series since Mockingjay. That's such a bad taste in my mouth. And you know, at face value, this kind of seems like it was only made to keep the franchise alive, to get another movie. Of course, it did get another movie very quickly after it came out. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if it will be worth doing a video on or not, but it will be something. It will be something. So that brings me to the rest of the summer. Just did all the Mr. Mercedes books, which leaves If It Bleeds as the last one I need to get through. Of course, this is a novella collection. Only one of those novellas is the one following Holly Gibney, but I'll probably go through them all just because I can. And I actually am going to be getting this audiobook from the library. I know I own the book here, but I think it'll work better for the schedule if I can just listen to this one. And that's the beauty of libraries, you know, instead of spending an absurd amount of money on the audiobook or a subscription to Audible or whatever else, wasting your precious monthly credit, you can just get it for free. The libraries aren't always going to have what you're looking for, but you can still at least look, right? It's sick. It's epic. And then Holly comes out September 5th. Very excited. This is going to be the first new Stephen King release that I can cover at launch. I do up like a schedule for my reading where I give myself 10 days to finish the book. That's just a general estimate. It might take me less time. I guess it really depends on how good the book is and how much time I end up having, but you'll be able to expect my review like between a week and 2 weeks after it comes out. Now this guy here is the final book in the Shattered Seas trilogy, and I'm gonna try to sneak it in here somewhere. Not a very long book. These books are very quick reads. The problem, though, is that I was not too big a fan of the second one. And I think how quickly I can get through this depends on how much I enjoy it. So I'm really hoping that with the third one here, Joe was able to turn it back around, get me invested again, but we will see. I can't guarantee I'll be done this one before the fall, but you can expect my review when it happens. Also, I haven't forgotten about Darker Shade of Magic. Also gonna try to squeeze that one in. The way my audiobook schedule is looking, like I think I'll have a lot of time for it, so we should be good there. And after Words of Radiance is done, I am going to be jumping in to Arcanum Unbounded. Not only because I'm in the process of catching up to everything Sanderson related, but because it includes a Stormlight novella that bridges the second and the third books. So yes, I definitely want to get on that. So that just about does it. You can look forward to reviews for all of the books that I've mentioned. Again, these are never going to be 100% accurate. There could always be something I just pick up on an impulse. But that's sort of what the next month looks like, and once we get into fall, spooky season, I'll talk about all of the plans I have for the rest of the year. It's going to include some horror books. It's going to include the return of some massive fantasy series I'm getting through. It's going to be a very fun time, so thank you all for watching. You can leave your thoughts on any of these books in the comments down below, and I will see you all soon for a new video, which I'm anticipating will be a haul, and then after that we'll do Words of Radiance, maybe. You know how I'm terrible at predicting stuff. Let's